Hello everyone. Today I'm back with another interesting use case in which we will see how we can utilize Azure Cognitive Services to perform sentiment analysis. And this time we will be reading an email content and we will see how we can plot those results in an Excel. So let's have a look at the detailed use case. It all starts with an email which got triggered by the system whenever customer writes product review. And as a starting point, as soon as an email is received, sentiment analysis is performed on the content of the email, which is nothing but the body of an email. And once analysis is done, all the results would be saved in the Azure storage. And from the Azure storage, we will be reading those data and we'll be pulling into our Excel sheet and we can show a chart. And the most important thing about today's session is that we are not going to write even a single line of code to execute this entire flow from end to end. So let's get started. The first and the foremost thing which we require is the Azure, and you should have an active subscription for that. So first of all, I will go ahead and create a text analytics resource. Click on create. Continue to create a resource. So I'm going to choose my existing resource group here, and the reason would be West US for me. You can choose whatever works best for you. And here we need to give the name of the instance. So we can say demo text analytics. Pricing tier, I'm going with the free one. Okay, let's rename it to SH. Okay, and here before clicking on this checkbox, you can go ahead and read the AI notice which is placed over here. And once convinced, you can click on this checkbox, click on create, and it will create an instance of the Azure Cognitive Services Text Analytics. Okay, so meanwhile it is in progress, I will go ahead and create a storage account. So let both these things go simultaneously. Okay, so for storage account, I clicked on storage account, click on create, and here I am choosing the same resource group, and storage we can give West, and I'm going with the standard one. I do not want any Azure application, so let's click on create, click on create. Okay, so now this deployment is in progress. Let's go ahead and see if it is done. Okay, so text analytics resource is created. So let's go to the resource group and quickly verify it. Okay, so it is here and we need to wait for stories to get created. Meanwhile, one more thing which we need is to perform this entire thing, we are going to use logic apps here. So next I will go ahead and create an instance of logic apps. So I will search here logic apps, click on add, and here again we need to choose the resource group. So I'm going with the same resource group. I'm going with the consumption model here, and logic app name we can say fix demo logic app, or we can reduce the name a bit. Okay, region I would still stick to West US. I'm not interested in log analytics, so I'm selecting no here. Click on review and create. Okay, so now we have to wait until all these three deployments are done. So storage also created. We can close this up. Let's refresh it. Okay, so everything is done. Let's go to the Logic app. And here you can see there are many inbuilt common templates available. So rather than using these existing one, I would rather prefer to go with the blank app. Okay, so the very first thing is we need to monitor the email. So for that, I need to search email, and here you can configure based on your choice, but I'm specifically going with the Outlook. So click on Outlook, and I need to know whenever I want this flow to be triggered whenever new email arrived in my inbox. So when a new email arrives, click on this and it will ask you to sign in. Okay, so it is signed in. Next thing is you need to select the folder that which folder you would like to monitor. So for me, I'm going to select Onyx, and these are all things we can leave as is, like we are not interested specifically in the importance or if there is any attachment. So let's close this. Next thing we need to select is whenever an email arrives and it is having review as a word in the subject line, then only I would like to consider that email. So in that case, here we can go and search for condition, control, and click on condition. Now for condition, we need to see whenever subject contains, right? So here you can see subject. Whenever subject contains review, then only I would like to go ahead with this flow. So this is one part. So let's say if subject contains review, then and if it's true, then I will go ahead and add another action, whatever we need to, like we need to perform sentiment analysis. But let's say if subject is not having review word, then I do not want to do anything. So I will just leave this false condition as empty, and I will go ahead and add here. Next thing is sentiment analysis. So for sentiment analysis, we need to search for text analytics over here. Click on text analytics, and under text analytics, we are interested in sentiment. So click on sentiment. Okay, now here we need to provide the name of the connection. So we can give any name, text analytics con. Account key. Account key, we can grab it from our text analytics resource. So let's go here, copy this key and place it over here. Next is the site URL. So it is nothing but the endpoint, and I will copy it from endpoint text box and place it over here. Once it is done, click on create. Now we need unique identifiers. So I will take subject as a unique identifier over here, and the text which we need to process. So here it would be the body. So I'm selecting body over here, and we are done with this part. So once this analysis is done, next we need to see if the result of the analysis, what is the result of the analysis, and accordingly we need to push it into the table storage. So for that, let's add another action over here. And what this action will do is it will push the sentiment results into the table storage. So for that, I will search for Azure table storage. Click on this, and here we need to insert data. So select insert entity. Okay, now here it is expecting the connection name. So for that, we need to go back to our resource group, go to storage, and before providing the name, we need to create table. So go ahead and create a table. We can provide sample data as a table name. Okay, go to storage, go to tables, and here we need to add what all columns we are interested in as an output in our output. So I will go ahead and click on add, and here we are interested in sentiments. So I will add it over here and click on insert. Okay, so now we can see that all the columns are available here. It's not added. I will quickly add it again. Sentiments. Okay, so we can see that 4 columns are there, and as this is the row which got added default, so I will quickly delete it, or we can even leave it. It's okay. Okay, so go here. Now we have our table ready. Next we need to provide the connection name. So I will provide any name, sh table con, and storage account. It has automatically picked because we have already connected to Azure. Click on create. So if you're having multiple, it may list you all the accounts, and you can search. You can select one of those. Click on create. Okay, now here we need to specify the tables. So there is only one table, sample data, and define the entity, what all things. So for defining the entity, we have to go with the JSON format. So for JSON format, I have already prepared something. So these are the 5 things which we need to consider. So ID I can take the message ID, which is a unique. Let me scroll it a bit. So message ID, and similarly partition key, I want same message ID. Row key, I would like to have again the same message ID. No, we don't want to do any change. And for sentiments, here we need to search for sentiment, and here you can go for sentiment at the, and for sentiments we can search for sentiment, and here we need to choose whether how we want to go with sentiment, whether it is sentence level or the document level. So I would go for document level sentiments here. And the last one is the timestamp. So for timestamp, we can see when the message was received. So let's see if we can figure out something. Time received time. So once this is done, we can close this particular flow and save it. Oh, so it is saying definition contains invalid parameters. Okay, so first let's have a look. Here, enter a valid JSON. So okay. Now try to save it. We missed one colon over here. Okay, so saving part is completed. Let's go back to our, so right now it is disabled, so I will quickly enable it. I will enable it, and as of now you can see there is no run history. So now I will shoot out an email and we'll see. I have just sent an email. So let's wait for it to arrive to this. Okay, so we can see that recently a new review email has arrived. Now go back to our Logic app, refresh it, and let's see how it triggers. So here we can see that process is succeeded. Let's go and quickly verify it here. So we can see that one row is added, and here the analysis say that the sentiment was negative. Now let me quickly have a look. There is another email arrived. So let's go back to Logic Apps, and looking like it has already succeeded. I will quickly go and refresh this. Go to storage, click on the table, and this time we can see that there are two rows added here. One is with negative sentiment and another one is the mixed content. Now I will go ahead and open an Excel to quickly show you how we can pull the data. So for that, go to Data tab, click on Get Data from Azure, and from Azure Table Storage. So here it will ask for the storage account name. Okay, so I will go back to my storage and will copy this name. Click on OK. And it is asking me for the account key. So let's go ahead and provide the key. It should be in endpoints. Sorry, it would be access keys. So I will show keys, copy it, and will paste it in our Excel. Click on connect. Okay, so now you can see that it is showing our Azure table, and these are the rows which we have. And here at the end you can see that it is not showing the newly or the recently added columns, and rather it is showing content. So to get that, click on transform, and it will open up a new page wherein we can click on this arrow buttons, and it is asking would you like to load all the columns. So let's use original column names as prefix and load it. Okay, so once it is loaded, click on close and load. So it will load data. Okay, so it is showing 3 rows because first one is the same dummy row which we noticed. I will quickly go ahead and delete this one, and these are the 2 rows which the sentiments. Next thing is we need to plot this. So for that, I will go here, insert, and recommended plot. So right now it is not showing anything because the data is pretty less. So for more data, I will quickly copy these rows and maybe we'll do slight variation here so I can say positive. So we have 4 rows. Let's not save it. Okay, so it is not considering it is as a part of table, so I will remove these lines and will insert the lines in between so that it could be considered as part of the table. I will insert one more row. Okay, and let's duplicate this so that we can have more data. And one of them I will mark it as positive. So we have three different types of sentiments over here. Now I will go ahead and plot this particular thing. So let's go with the recommended chart. And in the chart, you can see that out of those many sentiments, these were mixed, this many were negative, and these many are positive ones. So this is how we can perform the sentiment analysis without writing even a single line of code. So hope you enjoyed my today's video, and we'll see you next time with another interesting topic. Till then, keep watching.